Hey y'all, back again for another episode of the Total Retirement Game Plan, where we talk about ways you can live more and leave your mark, and what are the strategies that give you the peace of mind to be able to do that. Topic of discussion today is don't retire with your spouse until you see this. Now, we previously did an episode talking about, what are maybe some things you should consider or discuss before you guys decide if you're going to retire together or do it separately. So I wanted to dive in a little bit more today and talk about this because this is important. It's not just numbers, but it's getting on the same page emotionally, understanding any of the fears or aspirations that you may have, the things that keep you up at night. So let's dive in and have a good conversation about this today. Do y'all remember the newlywed game where couples would get on, newlyweds, and they would kind of go through? It was a fun show to watch, and you would see how well they knew each other or didn't. Had a lot of fun with it, right? Well, when we think about retirement, this is another major life transition. And how well do we know each other as we're approaching that and what that's going to look like? So maybe when you go into retirement, you should do the retirement ready game or something along those lines. I just made that up. But what are the things you should discuss with your spouse before you guys decide to officially retire? I think first and foremost is making sure that you've had a conversation about creating a shared vision together. What are the things you should discuss? First off is, when does each spouse want to retire and why? What are the driving factors for that decision or the way that you approach that? Obviously, talk about the financial advantages of a staggered versus simultaneous retirement. Does it make sense financially to go out at the same time? Would it make more sense financially for one to retire before the other? Talk about understanding where you want to live when you're retired. What's the lifestyle that you want to have? What are the travel expectations, right? How do you anticipate this looking? That may be different. One spouse may be looking forward to just laying in the backyard and reading a book every day, and the other spouse may want to get out and see the world. So coming together, creating that shared vision is an important conversation to talk about. And then you need to prepare for any emotional dynamics if you are going to retire at different times, right? Let's say one of you is going to retire 2 or 3 years before the other one. Maybe there's opportunity for resentment there because one's still at work while the other one's, at home, vegging out, doing their thing. But have those conversations because it is a different time of life. Make sure you can communicate openly with each other about what that looks like and what do you guys expect and how do you envision it going. Once you've got a shared vision or you have that conversation, right, it may make sense to start aligning your financial values and priorities, right? You may want to discuss what budgeting changes look like post-retirement. Look, we get it. You go your whole life saving and growing what you've got. Now in retirement, the paycheck stops. You got to figure out how you're going to start withdrawing from the funds you've been saving and growing your whole life. That does take a bit of a mental shift. We see some people really want to hang on to what they've got because they're scared they're going to run out of it. So what does that look like? How much could you spend each year? For many of our teammates, look, it comes down to a decision of, do we want to live an elevated lifestyle? Do we want to live more? Or are we wanting to leave some type of big impact financially? Right? Because it's either you figure out how to learn and spend down the money you have, or you're going to leave a bunch of money for your kids and grandkids. Either is fine, but what's most important to you? Having a discussion and making sure you're aligned on your spending priorities, right? What's most important first? Is our travel budget the most important? Being able to have hobbies, spending time with family or supporting family, right? Kind of maybe have an order of operations of where the funds should go first. And then understand each other's relationship with money. Some people were raised in a household where you don't spend ever and you just save and save and save for a rainy day. Others may be a little more liberal with how they spend their money. So just making sure that you understand each other's relationship with money, because going into retirement, again, the paycheck's going to go away. And so now you've got to be the one responsible for creating that paycheck. Obviously, open communication is going to help prevent any conflict. You're not going to avoid conflict. Sarah and I have been married for over 16 years now. We still have conflict, but we're committed to each other, working through these things and having those open conversations. As you approach retirement, we would recommend, as we see other people we work with retire, go through this type of process to make those decisions. Next thing you're going to want to consider is you're going to want to consider coordinating your Social Security and other retirement accounts. Again, decide when each partner will claim Social Security. What's the age gap between you? If one starts at full retirement age, one starts early, what does that look like? Should you both wait till full retirement age to claim? Does it make sense to go beyond full retirement age and get that automatic 8% increase? You got to optimize your retirement account contributions before retiring, right? Once you retire and have no more income, you can't make traditional retirement contributions. So coordinating how to maximize that, especially as you near that retirement age. Understanding which plans, if you work for an employer, offer the best match or the best investment options. That may be the priority, especially in the latter years of working. And then I think it's important to build a tax-efficient withdrawal strategy. Don't just go starting withdrawing money willy-nilly from accounts. You may pay Uncle Sam more than his fair share. It's important to build an actual strategy on how you're going to withdraw the funds. Are you going to withdraw from taxable accounts, tax-deferred accounts? Do you have tax-free accounts like Roth IRAs? And what's the most efficient way to make those withdrawals so that you can pay out Uncle Sam at a lesser percentage than if you just do it all willy-nilly? It's important to have a conversation about risk and planning for the unexpected. Review any debts. Look at your investment risks. Look at any financial obligations. Make sure that you've got plans in place to take care of the unexpected things that may happen. Look and see if there's any weak spots that could affect enjoyment in retirement or your retirement security. If you're getting close to retirement and all your money is growth-based and in market risk, that may not be appropriate for your situation. It may be exactly what you need, but understanding where you're coming from and what your goals are will help determine that. Prepare for any health care, long-term care, legacy decisions. And look, I always recommend professional guidance to navigate some of the unknowns. I don't know what's going to happen going forward, but I know we can build good game plans that we can call appropriate audibles where necessary when things do go unexpected or something that we weren't necessarily hoping for or saw coming. Again, another great episode with good information, things you should consider before retiring with your spouse. Hope you guys have a great day. I wore my retirement shirt today, get you excited for what's coming forward. It's kind of a beachy vibe. Glad you joined us. Subscribe to our videos. Leave us some comments. Y'all have a wonderful one. Go out there, figure out how you can live an elevated lifestyle. You should have the permission to live more and to leave your mark at retirement. Have a great one, y'all.